What's up everyone and welcome to Extreme Daily Drivers, where we're always balling on a budget and wrenching our garage. And today got another update to the Prelude. I just got off the phone with my engine builder and he told me that my short block is finally finished. And in order to go pick it up, I need to bring him the head as well as rear main seal, which I don't know where that is, and also the oil pan. And the oil pickup, which I guess is what I'll see once I remove the oil pan. So I have some work cut out for me. I got lots to do. So when we get started, we're gonna start taking the head off first, then go to oil pan, then figure out rear main seal and go from there. So here we go. So for you guys who haven't seen it before, this is kind of how the engine is currently situated. Looks pretty good. It actually will start right now if I were to turn the key. But all this stuff has to come apart in order to get that head off the car and get the other parts over to the builder so he can make sure everything is legit and good to go. So here's the before. We're about to tear this baby apart. Alright, so disassembly's begun. The car jacked up on jack stands. And remove the bottom piece of the header. Header's all loose. And now we're going to drain some oil. And let's see what that looks like. And the reason I say that is because I want to show you this. Well, it doesn't look too bad now. The last time I looked at this, it had some foam at the end, which we all know what that means, antifreeze. So I wasn't sure if that was from the current state of affairs that's going on with this car, or what went on with it before. So yeah, oil's coming out. Let's see what it looks like. Oh, chocolate milk. Look. Houston, we have a problem. It's like a swirl. It's like a chocolate and caramel swirl. A lot of bad stuff in that oil. So we're in the process of removing the cams out of here. And I've done this at least 3 times. And every time they're always so hard to get out. I don't know why they're so hard. It doesn't make any sense. Everything's loose, I think. Oh, that one wasn't all the way loose. Well, there's your problem. Is this one all the way loose? I spin these things 1,000 times. They should come. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. So let's grab this guy out of here. Where'd that bolt go? Anyone see it? Oh, there it is. Let's get the magnet. Anyway, this is what I wanted to show you. Get everything laid out the way it comes out. That way when you go to reinstall it, it's just the reverse. And you can see this white goo. See that white goo? It's antifreeze. Not supposed to be there. Okay. Magnet. You remember where he was? Sweet! So we got the valve cover off. We went ahead and we got our camshafts out of there. Now what I'm doing is I'm removing the lifters. And the way I do it, I don't know if this is right or not, but I take a box and I put holes in it. And I mark the front, which is right here. Probably can't see it. But that way, when it goes to reassembly, I basically can put everything back in exactly the way I removed it. So these guys just sit in here, come off, and I pop them into the hole. There you go. Cool. What's up guys, it's Brandon with Extreme Daily Drivers, day 2 of head removal, oil pan removal, and rear main seal removal. So I had to call the engine builder today and let him know that I would not be there because this is taking way longer than I thought, and I tried to take an easy way out yesterday of only removing the head without having to remove the intake, throttle body, and fuel rail. So I totally cheated. I tried to do it easily. Didn't work out. I wasn't even able to get that far. I still have to remove the oil pan. Shouldn't be that big of a deal. But I found out that the rear main seal is attached to the engine, where the only way I can get to it is to drop the transmission, remove the clutch, and remove the flywheel. Oh my god, total nightmare. So this video is going to have a ton of crap in it. Didn't realize I had to do all that. I wasn't really planning on doing all that right now, but it all has to come out So I might as well just get it done. The best way to do this would be to have a cherry picker or a crane right now, engine hoist, whatever you want to call it. Grab this thing, tranny and engine and all, and pull it out and dismantle it all out here. But I don't have one of those right now. I just need to get it done, so I'm working with what I have. So let me show you what I got done so far. So here we go. We got the engine head. Technically, all I need to do is remove a couple bolts here, and this thing will be able to separate from the engine itself. However, we still have this whole intake that is attached to the side of the engine head. So I tried to just remove the bolts between the engine and the intake in hopes that this would just stay here and I could just pull this thing out and then just deal with the transmission and the oil pan. But that's not working, and I got totally fed up. I got mentally defeated. It was a disaster. So today we're just taking everything apart. Everything is coming apart. That way I have access to everything. That's how I should have done it the first time. Whenever you're working on your car or working on anything in general, never take the easy way out. It never ever works out in your favor. Trust me, it never does. Just do it the long way, and in the end, it'll be the short way. So let's get started. So the first thing we're going to do is remove the top of the intake. Just a couple bolts. I've replaced all of these already, so they've all been loosened. Don't have to worry about anything not wanting to come off. So I've gone ahead and I removed the vacuum tubes leading to the intake, and I think this is just going to pull off. There we go. Don't really want to mess with the throttle cable. It's not a big deal to mess with, but every time you take something off, you have to reattach it. So the less stuff I can take off, the better right now. This will give you a good shot here in a second of the top of the intake. We have a block off plate here. I actually forget what it's for. We have that. I also have one of these gaskets here between the throttle body and the top of the intake, and I forget what it's called. But it's pretty sweet and it's reusable. Like, I think you could use it 20 times if you wanted to. You see how thick it is. So yeah, that's what's going on there. Throttle body's pretty clean. I cleaned it the last time I had this all apart. And you can see the runners, the intake runners. They're pretty clean. I mean, I cleaned all this the best I could. So this looks good. So I can pop this out of here and set this down on the engine. All right, now we have 3 bolts. 1, 2, 3. We're going to remove those. That's going to remove the fuel rail, and these injectors, 4 injectors. These injectors will just pull out, and hopefully not too much gas will come pouring out all over the place. Then a couple bolts, and then the intake's off. Why I didn't do this yesterday, I have no idea, because this is taking no time at all. So here we go. Yep, there goes that one. And there goes that one. Hey, 1 out of 3 is not bad. So it's kind of hard to believe. They just kind of snap in. All right, and I've already serviced these injectors. One thing that's super important is spacers. See these guys here? You can't lose these. These are a must-have in order for the fuel rail to fit right. Alright, so we have a slight dilemma here. I got this guy who is getting pulled both sides, right? It's getting pulled this way because of the oil filter and the line coming from the oil filter feeding the fuel rail. And then it's getting pulled this way because I have I don't even know what this is. It's attached to the computer. I guess it's controlling duty cycle to the injectors. I couldn't do these 4 clips at each injector and pop the plastic piece off along with these bolts back here. I'd rather not do that. I don't want to deal with those stupid clips. I've already done it once, don't want to do it again. This is too tight to remove, and I can't get any good leverage on it because I have to hold it with one hand and loosen it with another. Should have loosened that while everything was connected. So what I am going to do is disconnect it up here by the fuel filter, and that essentially will give me the ability to slide this whole thing over to this side and out of the way. gas is going to come out of here. And what I'm going to do is put this bolt back in the filter so I don't lose it, and so gas isn't like evaporating out of here at a crazy rate, getting me sick or giving me headaches or whatever. There's a little fuel out of there. Catch it now before it just dumps all over everything. Give it a little twist. So now we can kind of get this out of the way. Alright, so now you're getting a better idea of what exactly we're dealing with. Here's the bottom half of the intake. It's held in with these bolts. There are only a couple left because I removed some of them the other day when I tried to do this without doing that part I just did. So now we get these guys off, we'll be able to remove this part, and then we're just going to have the engine head. A couple bolts in here, and that's off. Alright, intake's been removed. Now we're going to go ahead, remove the head studs. So what you want to do here is you want to work from the outside in, and you just want to like half crank the bolts to ease up the tension onto the block before you just start going ahead and undoing these things. So we're going to go one at a time and just give it kind of a half a crank. Make sure that we're not tightening. Oh my god, these are tight. Why are they so tight? It's only 49 foot-pounds. Wow. That's no joke. That one wasn't bad. That wasn't bad. Okay. Okay. So we're going to continue this process till the bolts are completely loose. Alright, we got the bolts loose. Now we're removing it from the engine. And despite what a lot of people think, these head bolts are reusable. You can use them a number of times. So just because they were installed once, you removed them, doesn't make them garbage. You can keep reusing them on Honda engines. At least that's what I've been told, so that's what we're doing. I'm doing the same way that I did the rockers, hole in a box. That way they go in exactly the same way as they come out. The bolts in the middle are longer, and never forget the washer. So we got 10 of these guys. I got the front labeled on the box so that when it comes to reassembly, this stuff will just get cleaned and then put in exactly the way it came out. And now I can take these and put them off to the side where they won't get touched or screwed with. Alright, we got the bolts removed. So now we are ready to remove the head and unveil the head gasket and then the bottom of the block. So let's see how easily this comes off. Maybe give it a little gentle sway. Alright. Now there are two little dowel pins that are in the block that are kind of holding us where it is right now so it wouldn't slide. So I have to be mindful of that. We can feel that it's loose, so now we should just be able to lift up on it. Now it is kind of heavy. I think it weighs probably about 40 pounds, but it's not really a lot of weight, but since it's kind of back, it's a little bit. I gotta be careful of this here. This is all kind of still connected, so I'm gonna have to lift up and then kind of over and then out. All right, let's try not to destroy our back as we do this. And you can see it's, ooh, something's pouring out. I hear it. Okay, that just rocked loose. Let me do the same on this side. This is why mechanics have such bad backs, because you're constantly bending over, exerting force onto something. Oh, there goes that gasket. Alright guys, so there you can see, cylinder head removed, head gaskets removed. Here one of those dowels I was telling you about. This job is really a lot easier because I've done this already, so everything's loose. I don't have to worry about a bolt not being able to come loose. I replaced all the hardware with stuff like this. So it's all new hardware. Nothing's cranked on too tight. The car hasn't even been driven, so it's not like it's been going through a million heating and cooling cycles, because it hasn't been going through any. But this is what it takes to go ahead and remove your head. A lot of cars have blown head gaskets, and many times people will even say the car's totaled if it has a blown head gasket because of the labor that goes into replacing this $18 part. The head gasket itself doesn't cost anything. It's 18 bucks or something along those lines, but the process of getting to it to replace it is expensive because of all this disassembly that has to happen, as well as trying to figure out why it happened in the first place. Head gaskets just don't blow. They blow for a reason, and usually that reason is heat. Too much heat is causing an issue where your head gasket's going to blow, causing antifreeze to spill over into your oil and cause your car to smoke and all sorts of other problems, compression issues. So yeah, blown head gaskets, a pretty big deal. Look how cool this is. Do you see how far back that engine leans? That's one of the awesome things about this car, is that the way the engine's mounted, it's tilted backwards, and the reason it is because these fenders are so thin. If you look how small these fenders are, I don't know if you can see that from here, but they have such a low profile. If you were to compare it to my wife's Lexus, look, right? So the real thin fenders give it that sweet wedge look, which was so popular in the 80s and the 90s. And it's awesome. I love straight lines in a car. So this car is filled with straight lines. Anyway, back to what we did. Look, see that? Antifreeze. These are the cylinders. And they're not supposed to have antifreeze in there. The walls don't look too bad. I did clean these up the last time that when I had this engine apart, I cleaned these up. And you could see the antifreeze in these holes. Look at that crap. Look. That's not good, right? So that impedes flow of antifreeze, and it will cause that gook to wind up somewhere in the engine, causing everything to get gunked up and look like crap. Look at around my what the hell is this thing called? Thermostat housing. All caked in there. I cleaned that out since the last time that I did this. And look, see? Stuff gets everywhere. That's why I have to get a new bottom end, because I can't have all this crap floating around inside the engine. It's just going to clog up somewhere else, and I'm going to have cooling problems, or I'm going to oil flow problems. I'm going to have some sort of issue because this engine was so neglected by the previous owner. So that's why we are where we are. So that's going to be it for today. Next video, I'm dropping oil pan, dropping transmission. Please pray for me. And that should be coming up in the next day or two, so stay tuned, and we'll see you soon.